Today we're going to be making a silicone mold step by step, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So the first thing you need to do when you're making a silicone mold is to make a mold housing. So today for my mold housing, I'm using packing tape and a plastic cup. So I'm going to take about 4 or 5 pieces of packing tape. It just depends on how big your cup is. And I'm going to overlap these pieces of tape on top of each other to make a barrier. Do you see how I overlaid them on each other? So that way no silicone rubber is going to leak out of the bottom of the tape. You could also use transfer tape for your Cricut machine or a piece of craft plastic. I didn't have those on hand, so I'm just using packing tape. So I have my pieces of tape laid down, and now I'm going to put my plastic cup right on top of that tape. I did cut the bottom off of this cup, and this is going to be my mold housing to make my mold. For these, I take hot glue and I go all the way around the perimeter of the cup, and I'm really generous with this hot glue, adding a lot so this seals around the perimeter of the cup so no silicone rubber leaks out. And today I'm going to be using the silicone rubber from Let's Resin. This is the 30A hardness silicone rubber. Silicone rubber actually comes in different hardnesses, meaning how flexible it is. This one is my favorite. I like to use this one, and it's also easy to mix for beginners because it's got a blue part and a clear part, so it's easy to tell if it's mixed properly. So for silicone rubber, you do need a digital scale. It's a 1-to-1 ratio by weight. And I was working on quite a few projects when I was making this, so I'm going to do 28 ounces total. So that's going to be 14 ounces of my part B, which is my blue part right here. And now I'm going to pour in 14 ounces of my part A, which is this clear part here. So I'm just going to pour that in, making sure that I get the parts A and B completely equal. When I get towards the end of pouring, I start to pour more slowly just so I don't go over. And I had 28 ounces total. I'm just going to take my wooden stir stick and stir this up for 5 minutes. And just like resin, you want to make sure you stir slowly. You don't want to whip it up and introduce a bunch of air bubbles into it. And you want to scrape the bottom of the cup, scrape the sides of the cup, scrape off the stir stick, and really incorporate those parts A and B together. And you can see on my stir stick how it's kind of got striations and the colors do not look mixed well. That's why I like to use this silicone rubber, because you can tell that it's mixed. You're not going to have those striations of the blue against the clear. So I mixed it up for 5 minutes. I poured some into 3 separate cups here, and I'm going to run it through my bubble remover machine. This machine is also from Let's Resin. Discount code NAPTIME will give you a discount. You just put your 3 little cups in there, or just 1 cup if you're not mixing up very much, and push the lid down, plug it in, press the button, and you're good to go. It pops bubbles in resin and silicone rubber so well. It works fantastic because silicone rubber can get bubbles just like resin, as you can see. I ran this through the machine for 5 minutes. It got out all my bubbles. All you have to do is wait for the timer to run down to 0. It degasses by itself. Take off the lid and you're good to go. Today we're going to be molding this cute little glass pumpkin. I wanted to say ceramic, but I guess it's either ceramic or glass. I picked this up from the little dollar section at Target. And when you use something like this, you want to take a microfiber towel and just clean it off. Make sure there's no fingerprints on it because those will transfer to your mold. So I'm just placing that inside my plastic cup mold housing, pushing it down so it's really stuck onto that tape that we're using as the bottom of our mold housing. I'm going to pour in that silicone rubber. Just pouring it right into the mold housing. Super simple and easy to make your own molds. I hope you give it a try. I was really excited to mold this pumpkin because it's so cute and festive for fall season. And when I put the pumpkin down in the mold housing, I tried to center it as best as I could. You want to make sure you have a nice amount of space around the item that you're molding, making sure that it's not really close to your mold housing. Otherwise, your mold could break when you're demolding. So make sure you put it right in the center. So I got that all full with my silicone rubber. You want to make sure you pour your silicone rubber an eighth of an inch above the item that you're molding. Let it cure overnight. Took some scissors, cut down the side of the plastic cup. I'm just going to take my thumbs and push this out of the cup mold housing that we used, just like this. Pull it right out. And I did have a little bit of silicone kind of run under the pumpkin, so I was going to try to unmold it just like this, but I decided to take my little cuticle trimmer and just go around and get that little bit of silicone off. It wasn't much at all. I thought that that was preventing me from getting it out of the mold, but in reality, this was actually very hard to get out of this mold. I should have used a different silicone rubber. I think the 20A hardness from Let's Resin or the 15A hardness would be better because this pumpkin is tall. So there's a lot of silicone rubber, and I was just having a heck of a time getting this out of the mold. So I decided to try a little 91% isopropyl alcohol, just squirt that in around the pumpkin, and eventually had to call in a reinforcement to help me get this out. My husband came out to help me. So if you try to mold a tall glass pumpkin like this and you're using this silicone rubber, make sure you have someone that can help you get this out of the mold. Or if you don't have anyone that can help you, use a different hardness silicone rubber. That would have been helpful because those different hardness silicone rubbers don't cure as hard. They're more flexible and it's easy to pop it out. Eventually, we got it out. We were laughing because it honestly took about 10 minutes to get this out of the mold, but we got it out. You can see the mold turned out perfect. It's nice and shiny, just like the pumpkin. So definitely give mold making a try. It's really fun. I like to just like look at things when I'm out and about and see if I could make a silicone mold of it because it's really fun to try different things and make your own molds. But let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any questions down in the comments. And I got all my supplies from Let's Resin. Discount code NAPTIME will give you a discount. I hope you guys are all doing fantastic. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys soon for another video. Bye, guys.